guys, another episode of MCU Review, and there's been a lot of big news going around lately, but the one I'm going to be talking about is a Civil War rumor, what people are saying is going to happen with Captain America 3, the fact that Robert Downey Jr. is talking about signing on for it, all that crazy stuff. I mean, you know, everybody's saying Captain America 3 will be Captain America 3 Civil War, aka Captain America 3, the Captain America movie that doesn't feature Captain America and features 20 other heroes. Now, I really don't see there being like a whole Civil War made off of Captain America 3. I know that Variety magazine is saying that, you know, oh, Rob Downey Jr. is in agreement to play, or is about to agree on playing as Tony Stark in this movie, and now we're going to have Civil War. I don't know where like their sources are coming from and where they're confirming Civil War, but I mean, like, there might be something happening in Civil War, like, I won't doubt that, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to be coming to the MCU. I mean, for one, Tony Stark, right now in the MCU, is not likely to support, like, the whole, like, superheroes need to register, which is the whole premise of Civil War, if you guys don't know. You know, because he is very, like, anti-government. He didn't want them seizing his Iron Man suit, all that kind of stuff. Like, he didn't play nicely with S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, I see no reason why he would all of a sudden be like, yeah, the government is awesome, please force superheroes to give up something valuable to them, their identities, when I didn't want you to force me to give up my Iron Man suit. But, I mean, besides that, a lot of people know that there's a lot of characters that we don't have, like the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man, who were a huge part of the whole Civil War storyline. Now, it is possible that they will rewrite that, and obviously they'd have to do major rewrites to bring this to the screen. I don't think that's really credible to say it won't happen because there's characters we don't have. They are coming out with a new Civil War comic line, which is also a huge reason why people think it will be adopted into a movie. And I do have to admit that's pretty promising. I mean, why else would they rewrite the Civil War storyline? It's not like it's that old anyway. It came out in like 2006. It's pretty recent. So, you know, what reason is there to rewrite it if it's not to cut out characters like the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man that Marvel doesn't have? Alternatively, Marvel is in talks to get the rights to Spider-Man, as we've heard. I know lots of stuff is happening right now in the MCU world, and if they have Spider-Man, you know, I mean, they could do that whole Peter Parker unmasks himself and reveals to the world that he is Peter Parker moment, and that is definitely one of the large relevant moments of like Civil War that people think like they couldn't make it if we didn't have it. So I mean, like there's definitely ways they could do it, whether they cut characters like Spider-Man out completely or they get a hold of the rights somehow through Sony and enough to use it. There's ways it could be done, but a lot of people pegged it as an Avengers movie, and I don't see why they would take Cap's third movie, which might at least focus somewhat on him finding Bucky and that whole search, and introduce, you know, Tony Stark, Vision, Scarlet Witch, Hulk, Thor, you know, whoever other heroes they would try to use, you know, I guess everyone they have available, like Quicksilver, Hawkeye, Natasha, and why they would just make it a not Cap movie. Now, they are introducing Daredevil in the TV show, and they could bring him into the universe as well. But again, why would they flood Captain America's movie with all these other heroes? And I mean, like, you have Tony Stark and Cap, like, face off and stuff, and like that might be like tantamount to their Civil War without any other like real heroes getting involved. But at that point, the storyline is so watered down that I don't think it's really like relevant. Honestly, like, what is probably definitely going to happen is that Tony Stark, RDJ, will be in Captain America 3. Now, what capacity exactly, I'm not sure. I suspect that if they did want to take the MCU in a Civil War storyline like direction, that the events of Captain America 3 might end up with the start of the Civil War. Like, by the end of it, Tony and Cap might be in a position to be on opposing sides versus the entire movie itself being Civil War. I find that more likely because you don't detract from Captain America's own movie, but it would function in a similar way to Captain America 2, which was a huge game changer for the MCU. The events of Captain America 2 resulted in by the end of it, the heroes having a little pressure from the government, and S.H.I.E.L.D. being completely disbanded by the end of it. And the Russos said that Captain America 3 would be a game changer for the MCU, more so than Captain America 2. I wouldn't be surprised if the events of the movie happen, and by the end of it, Tony Stark and Cap are poised to go off, or Cap and whoever might be the proponent of the Superhero Registration Act. Because we know, it may not necessarily be Tony. Right now, he's not really set up in the MCU to support something like that. I mean, I don't want to make this video too long. You should look into Civil War if you like it. But I think there's a lot of reasons why they won't do it. I don't think they would pull from Captain America's movie like that and just create this whole Civil War thing out of it. I mean, it does let them use Thanos as the main villain for Avengers 3 and still get the Civil War storyline to happen. But they're missing characters for it, so even if they reboot the comic, they would have to reboot it in a way that allows them to just use the main universe characters. And then they have to bring all those characters into the Captain America movie, have it make sense, and somehow justify the fact that Cap won't really be doing as much in his own movie as it will be a bunch of fights. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't think people should take it as gospel right now, oh, it's absolutely true that we're getting Civil War, because we don't know what would happen. It could be entirely possible that the movie simply sets up Civil War. That's what I personally believe, is the most likely candidate. And then would, let Tony Stark have that role in the movie without the whole movie being about Tony versus Cap and the Secret Avengers and the Pro-Registration Act heroes. It's really interesting, though. It's interesting news. I like the fact that Tony Stark is in Captain America 3. Outside the Civil War rumors, I think it's really cool. Obviously, it'll help bring some people to the movie and make Cap 3 hopefully break $1 billion. But, I think it'll be interesting to, start meshing the worlds a little bit more. I mean, Hawkeye might be in there too. I think it's cool when you can have a couple other heroes come in to a movie while retain it as an individual solo film. So I'm excited for Cap 3 personally, and Tony being in there. I wouldn't want to see a Civil War made out of it. I think it's not right for the MCU either. I don't think it's at the right time. We're just starting to get a lot of the heroes together and moving past the first 6 Avengers in the first Avenger movie. I don't think it would really be right to drop the Civil War now, but let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think of this news, everything that's going on? Just let me know, and MCU review out.